Best English Jokes. Страница 67. A blonde was sitting next to a lawyer on a plane. The lawyer wanted her to play a game with him. He said every time the blonde could not answer one of his questions, she would give him $5. But every time he could not answer hers, he'd give her $500. The lawyer thought he could not lose, and the blonde agreed. The lawyer first asked, "What is the distance between the Earth and the nearest star?" Without saying a word, the blonde gave him $5. Then the blonde asked, "What goes up a mountain with 3 legs and comes back down the mountain with 4 legs?" Well, the lawyer took many hours looking up everything he could and even making many phone calls trying to find the answer. Finally, he gave up and paid the blonde $500. The blonde put the $500 into her bag, but the lawyer asked, "What is the answer to your question?" Without saying a word, the blonde gave him $5. An older couple was walking on a beach when the husband saw a bottle and a genie came out. "You can each have one wish," said the genie. The wife made her wish first. "I would like to travel around the world with my husband." Suddenly there were 2 tickets for travel around the world in her hands. Now it was the husband's turn. "Well," said the husband, "I wish I can have a younger wife." As soon as he said it, he became 20 years older. Sandy and Norman were very sad. Their 3-year-old son Timmy still had not learned how to talk. One night at dinner, Timmy took a taste of his pie and to their surprise said, "You call this a pie? It's tasteless." Sandy and Norman sat there in shock, for these were their son's first words. Then Norman asked, "Tell me, Timmy, why have you never spoken until now?" "I never wanted to," said Timmy. "Everything was always fine." A bank robber didn't want anyone to know who he was, but he forgot to put on his mask. He told everyone in the bank not to look at him or he would kill them. One of the people saw him, and the bank robber did what he said he would. He killed him. The robber asked the rest of the people if anyone else had seen his face. One man looking down said, "I think my wife saw something." A police officer stopped a car going just 19 miles per hour on the highway. As the officer approached the car, he noticed there were 2 elderly women in it, and they both looked very pale and wide-eyed. "Good afternoon, ladies. Do you know why I'm stopping you?" asked the police officer. "I'm terribly sorry if I did something wrong, but I know I was not going too fast," said the driver. "Well, that is true, you weren't, but you were going too slowly on a highway, and that is also dangerous." "No, officer, I was going exactly the speed limit, 19 miles per hour." The officer laughed a little to himself. "Ma'am, this is Highway 19. That is not the speed limit, but the name of this highway." The elderly driver smiled and thanked the police officer over and over for informing her of the mistake. "But before I let you go, I have to ask, are you feeling okay? You both look very tired." Oh, sure, we will be fine. We just got off Highway 120. An 86-year-old man was out fishing. He was sitting in his boat when he heard a voice say, "Take me." He looked around and did not see anyone. Then he heard the voice again, "Take me." The old man looked in the water, and there on a lily leaf was a frog. Страница 69, speed limit, ограничение скорости. Страница 70. The man said, "Are you talking to me?" The frog replied, "Yes, I'm talking to you. Take me, then kiss me, and I'll turn into the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. Then you will have me as your wife." The man looked at the frog for a minute in confusion, reached over, took her carefully, and placed it in his pocket. The frog cried, "Didn't you hear what I said? I said, kiss me, and I will be your beautiful wife." He opened his pocket, looked at the frog, and said, "No, at my age, I'd better have a talking frog." John was talking to a friend. "Mike, I am in trouble. I have no money and I have no idea where I'm going to get it from." "I'm glad to hear that," answered Mike. "I was afraid you might have an idea you could take it from me." A young woman from the country was on vacation in the swamps of Louisiana. She really wanted a pair of alligator shoes to bring back for her boyfriend, but they were too expensive for her. After becoming very sad with the shopkeepers, the woman cried, "I'll just go out and catch an alligator so I can get a pair of shoes." The shopkeeper replied, "Good luck. Maybe you'll catch a big alligator." The woman turned and went to the swamps. She was hoping to catch an alligator. Later in the day, the shopkeeper was driving home, and he saw the young woman in the water. Just then he saw a big alligator swimming quickly to her. It was very hard for her, but she caught the alligator and took it to the bank of the swamp. Lying nearby were some more alligators she caught earlier. Very surprised, the shopkeeper got out of his car and came up to the young lady. Just then the woman screams at the shopkeeper, "This one isn't wearing shoes either." Страница 71. On his 60th birthday, Jeff bought himself a new sports car. He was driving down the road at 80 miles per hour and enjoying it. "This is great," he thought as he drove down the Florida highway. He decided to see how fast this car could really go. Then he saw a police officer behind him and understood that he wanted him to stop. "I can get away from him," Jeff thought as he drove at over 150 miles per hour. But then he thought, "What am I doing? I'm too old for this." He stopped and waited for the officer. A minute later, the officer stopped and walked up to the car. "Sir, I stop working in 10 minutes and today is Friday. If you can give me a reason why you were going so fast that I've never heard before, I'll let you go." Jeff looked at the officer and said, "Years ago, my wife ran off with a Florida policeman. I thought you were bringing her back. Have a great day," said the officer. A lawyer defending a thief tried this creative defense. "My client just got his arm into the window and took a few little things. His arm is not himself, and I don't see how you can punish the whole man for what his arm did." "Well said," the judge replied. "Using your logic, I sentence the defendant's arm to 1 year in prison. He can go with it or not." The defendant smiled. With his lawyer's help, he took his artificial arm, laid it on the table, and walked out. A lost dog gets into a jungle. A lion sees this and says to himself, "This guy looks like I can eat him. Never seen anyone like him before." So the lion runs to the dog. The dog notices and starts to panic, but as he is about to run, he sees some bones next to him and gets an idea. He says loudly, "That was very tasty lion meat." The lion stops and says, "Wow, this guy must be stronger than he looks. I better leave while I can." A monkey sees everything. He realizes that he can tell the lion everything and get something in return. So the monkey goes to tell the lion what really happened, and the lion says angrily, "Get on my back, we'll go get him together." So they start running back to the dog. The dog sees them and realizes what happened and starts to panic even more. He then gets another idea and screams, "Where is that monkey? I told him to bring me another lion an hour ago." Jim was angry. He walked into his favorite restaurant and sat down on a chair. "Get me meat well done with mashed potatoes." 3 minutes later, when his order came, Jim screamed, "Didn't you hear me say well done?" "Thank you, sir," the waiter smiled. "That was the first compliment I got all day." Walking into a fabric shop, the beautiful girl said, "I would like to buy this material for my new dress. How much does it cost?" "Only 1 kiss per meter," replied the shop assistant with a smile on his face. "That's fine," said the girl. I'll take 10 meters." The shop assistant quickly measured the fabric and gave it to the girl. The girl took it, pointed to the old man behind her and smiled. "My grandfather will pay for this." Mashed potatoes, картофельное пюре. Здесь игра слов well done, хорошо сделанный, но также well done используется как похвала.